Coming up on today's show, I want to run through a brand new 7-round mock draft as we are about 2 weeks away from the draft kicking off. Now, I just want to note that the way I do my mock drafts is based on what I think is going to happen, not, hey, I'm the GM and here are my picks. There are pros and cons to both sides, but I like to give you guys the best idea as to what's going to happen on draft night and not, here's just what I would do as the GM, but I'm not the GM, so who cares what I think. Now, our first pick in round number 1, I went with Mike Green. There's a lot of connections between the Falcons and Green at the moment. Raheem Morris, Terry Fontenot went up to Huntington, West Virginia to check out his pro day. So I don't think they were just in the neighborhood. I think they really have a lot of interest on Green. Now, before we look at any stats or things like that, it's important to note that picking at 15, it's very difficult, of course, to do a mock draft this late in the round because you just don't even know who's going to be available. But if Green is available, I think he is going to be the pick for the Falcons. That's where you can say, Petey, you're an idiot. You got it wrong again. If they pass on Green, that's one thing. If he goes to the Bears at 10, I can't control that. But I think the Falcons, who desperately need pass rush help, are going to look at a guy with 17 sacks last year and tested through the roof at his pro day and think, yeah, let's not overcomplicate this. We need a pass rusher. He's the best guy on the board right now. A lot of people have him right there with Abdul Carter, not too far behind. So if he falls to 15, I think he's a Falcon. I wish I could say he is a Falcon, but I just don't even know if he'll fall that far. So I'll say this. If Mike Green's available at 15, you are a Falcon. But if he goes a few spots earlier, then all hell could break loose. Now, let me get the kind of pulse of the room right now. Do you want me to go live on the channel for round 1? I just want to get a general consensus. If you are interested in watching some live coverage for round 1, drop an ATL for me in the comment section. My boss is trying to put together a plan for the round 1 of the draft, and I just want to let him know if there's real interest or not, or if I'm going to take up a studio and waste everyone's time. Moving on to round 2, after going with Mike Green, I went corner. And I went with the Ole Miss corner, Trey Amos. So let's talk about him because this is a name that you've probably seen floated around day 2 of the draft. And we've talked about him before on the channel, but I think there's a lot to like here. From a size perspective, pretty average to above average, 6'1", 195 pounds. So some solid length. Now, a team's going to have to do some research on him as a person because when you transfer 3 times, I won't say it raises red flags, but it raises questions. And people want to know what kind of happened that led to, not once, not twice, but 3 times you found yourself on a new campus. Like going from, not LSU, but from the Raging Cajun, Louisiana, to Alabama. That makes a lot of sense. And when he went to Alabama, he led the team when he went to Alabama, he showed himself as a very reliable player on defense. And then he quickly packs his bags and goes to Ole Miss. Where last year with the Ole Miss Rebels, that's where he led the team in pass breakups, 16, tied for interceptions with 3. So he showed us what people were looking to see in Alabama, more so with the Ole Miss Rebels. But go back to Louisiana, and he showed that also. Let me take this moment here to go. If you're concerned about Mike Green from a productivity standpoint because he played in Sun Belt and now he's going to be going up against NFL offensive tackles, yeah, so did Trey, and he went to Alabama and Ole Miss and had no problem adjusting to SEC speed. So don't become a victim of lack of competition strength. No, it is very feasible and doable to go from a smaller team and have a good career. I think there's a couple of Khalil Mack played at Buffalo. That's one. C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I was thinking pass rushers, but yeah. So there's lots of examples of Jason Pierre-Paul. The list goes on and on. So I don't think it is, out of reach for a Power 5 school guy to have success, Group of 5 school guy to have success at the next level. Now, as I was saying, back to the corner discussion here. I like the idea of adding some more depth. I just feel that cornerback is a cornerstone position, and you can never have enough of them. And if injuries pop up, you're going to thank yourself. So with Hughes and Alford both re-signing, I understand why you may not feel like in round 2 this is towards the top of your to-do list. But Hughes' contract, I think, is more or less a 1-year, $9+ million deal. So if you don't like what you see out of him, you can always move on after 2025. And if you do, but not for the price tag, you'll be a lot more comfortable knowing, hey, we've got this up-and-coming player we took in round 2 last year who's ready to be a full-time starter in his second season. Before we look at the rest of my mock draft, quick shout-out to our friends over at Factor. Make this your best season yet with nutritious 2-minute meals from Factor. Eating well has never been this easy. Just heat up and enjoy, giving you more time to do what you want. It's easy to savor more this spring. Factor meals pack in the flavor with none of the fuss. Get outside instead of prepping and cooking indoors. Factor meals arrive fresh and ready to eat, perfect for any lifestyle. Get started at factormeals.com/FalconsChat50off and use code FalconsChat50off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. It's also a great way to get in shape a little bit because, boys and girls, it is t-shirt season and no one wants to see that chub. So that's code FalconsChat50off at factormeals.com/FalconsChat50off for 50% off plus free shipping. All that information is in the comments and description of today's video. All right, getting back to our mock draft. After the 2 fun rounds, we fast forward to round 4 because round 3 belongs to New England for Matthew Judon. And in round 4, I went with Billy Bowman, the Oklahoma safety. I don't love that I did not address pass rusher twice in the first 2 rounds, but I think safety is quietly a big need for the Falcons as well. Now, a little bit of background on our Sooner. 5'10", 192 pounds. I usually don't want to make too big of a deal out of measurables because some players play bigger than their size. Some guys don't live up to their size. But Billy is someone that I think is downgraded or knocked against because he doesn't have the biggest size and he doesn't have great tackling form and consistency. But despite that, he's got incredible instincts and ball skills. Guy had 11 career interceptions in Norman. Last year, 2 picks. By the way, not just 11 career interceptions, 4 pick sixes, 4 touchdowns. I think they were all pick sixes. One might have been a scoop and score. But still, he's a playmaker. He puts himself in the right position to be successful. And I don't think you'd be asking him to start year 1. You've got 2 starting safeties right now. So another player that can sit and develop for a year. And then in 2026, you now have instant upgrades / replacements for guys who could be departing, like Jordan Fuller at the safety position on a 1-year contract, or Mike Hughes on a 3-year deal with less than $10 million guaranteed. And that frees you of feeling the need to find new starters as rookies in the draft. So I always like to think, if you don't have a home for them in this year's starting lineup, can you find one next year? And if the answer is yes, I'm going to take a good hard look at that player. Now, to round it out, no one gives a crap about round 7. So I went with Curtis Rourke out of Indiana. I just feel that Kirk Cousins is going to be traded, and the Falcons do need a new backup quarterback. And Rourke, I think, would be a good addition at that spot. So he's got a lot of college football experience, and what he did last year with the Hoosiers, a little IU love between him and Michael Penix, not the worst thing in the world. So why not? It's round 7. Now, if you thought that pick was a little spicy, how about this one? Thor Griffith, defensive tackle out of Louisville. I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys here. I took him because his first name is Thor. That was a starting and ending point. I saw name Thor, did some research after I made the pick, of course, from New Hampshire. That's kind of cool, right? I don't think there's many players from New Hampshire. Not that I have a Rolodex of them in my head here, but also, he went to Harvard, played there for 4 years. Ivy League, conference player, all that stuff. He had good pass rush upside. Then he has 1 grad transfer season, had some interest from Ohio State and Michigan. Went to Louisville because I like the coaching staff there. Had a pretty strong season for them. 3 sacks, a forced fumble, 19 tackles. For round 7, your name's Thor, and you went to Harvard? Yeah, that sells me on it. So how would you grade my mock draft? A, B, C, D, or F? I mean, revisiting it right now, I give myself a B. You got one day 1 starter in Mike Green. It's hard to give yourself an A when you only have 3 picks in the first 4 rounds. You're not going to walk with a ton of talent. So give it a B, B minus, somewhere in that range. Let me know what you think in the comment section below.